Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, we're on. Hey guys, it's Victor, askgimmeabreakman with Lucas Adverse. We just did a video.
Yeah.
Juggling video, check that out. We're doing a walk talk video. Where the hell's Tomoko? Tomoko's in the back there. Tomoko doesn't want to be in this video because I want to talk about xenophobia real quick. So Aoki Yuta, you know him? He does a walk and talk videos.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's a really good guy, really nice guy. He's a great YouTuber. Rachel and June say their favorite, you know.
Oh, nice.
And the other day he posted on Facebook that he didn't think foreigners should use the word xenophobic as a label for Japan. And I think he actually like linked some article, which I didn't see. But it's kind of irrelevant because my opinion is, number one, you can't tell people what to say and what not to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if I tell you don't touch that button, then you're gonna press the button, right? So let's cross this way. So, Tomoko, you gonna get the subway this way?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Can they hear us?
now,
Noisy?
Tomoko, you like Gaijin, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you like Gaijin, right? Okay. I like Gaijin. I like foreigners. But I thinking about it a little while, I took his post on Facebook and I said bullshit. But stop looking at those legs, Lucas. Stop looking at those long, beautiful legs.
Too late. You pointed too late.
But I think you can't tell people what to say, number one. And honestly, I think Japan is a xenophobic country. But just talking to you, what's your experience been in Japan?
Yeah. So I haven't been here for that long to talk about that, but I haven't.
You're a humble man.
Yeah, I've been here for 6-7 months, but
See, most people are here for 6 hours and they think they understand the whole country. But
yeah, but I've never really experienced any sort of racism or xenophobia in here. But I have heard a lot of stuff though. Yeah, I've heard that if you're, can I say like, I've heard if you work in a Japanese company and there's a problem in the company, they're always gonna blame the gaijin. That's what I heard.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but really, I don't know. Out of my experience, I can't say a lot. The only thing I don't like that might be considered racism, maybe it's not. Yeah, it probably not. But some people would, because a lot of people are sensitive. Is that I think a lot of people they think gaijin cannot speak any Japanese. So when you talk to Japanese people, in Japanese they think you cannot speak any Japanese, and they reply in English. But their English is worse than your Japanese, and that makes communication much harder. So I don't like that tendency of you're talking Japanese, and the person answers in English, and then you guys are like, oh shit.
Lucas, stop looking at those legs over there.
Okay, you pointed again, so I can't do anything.
ね、でも私も外国で言われたのよ。
Oh, really?
英語上手ですねって。You speak English well. My name is Tomoko って言っただけよ。
Yeah, you said Tomoko. My name is Tomoko, and someone said your English is good.
Good.
Okay, so yeah, I'll have to admit that that microaggression, as they say, which is a stupid word anyway. But yeah, complimenting people suddenly is not xenophobia at all. I don't think that's part of xenophobia. I don't consider that part of xenophobia. But there are some kind of there are types of established xenophobia here. For example, if you try to rent an apartment, although it is illegal, you will hit the no gaijin wall.
Okay.
You haven't tried to rent an apartment, right?
No.
No. So if you try to rent an apartment, there'll be some places who just don't want to rent to foreigners. And they can't write that on the application anymore. Like in the old days, you could write like no pets, no foreigners.
Okay.
Now you can still write no pets, but you can't write no foreigners.
So what do they do?
So what happens is you go to the real estate agent, he'll call the guy and say, well, he's a foreigner, and then the guy will say, well, no foreigners.
でもね、前事件があったのよ。知ってる？
What
外人がずっとうるさく外人住んで、外人って言ってたんだっけ？外国人が住んだ時にすごくうるさいの。夜中まで。それで周りに迷惑かかって、そっからアパートはダメだって言って。
Is that Saiki no hanashi?
前だけど、まあ3 or 4 years ago.
So 3 or 4 years ago, there's an incident where some foreigner was making. What the hell's going on over there, Tomoko?
A big noise.
What the hell's going on over there?
It's kind of weird.
Screaming.
あれはね、お化け屋敷じゃない？
Bakayashiki. There's a haunted house over there. I'll show you guys. So, whoops, down over there across the street. That line of people. See a crowd of people over there? That building in the middle.
Oh yeah, I heard summer is like the scariest season in Japan.
Really? Summer.
Oh, you don't know that?
Summer is the scariest. Let's go talk to this beautiful woman over here. This is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my life. Honey, let me just tongue you. Ready?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna break up with my girlfriend.
She's got cobwebs in her ears. Right? Okay, yeah. So So Tomoko said a few minutes ago. What's wrong?
ゴミ箱ない
Well, let me get in, bro. I'm sorry.
ああいいよ
So if you just cram it in one of those, open that up and cram it in
で
there.
もまあいいわいいわいいわ、はい
So a few years ago, Tomoko says that there was an incident where a foreigner was making a lot of noise in an
な
apartment,
んか裁判
and it
Yeah.
became a court case. They kicked him out. Oh,
多分
that's that.
追い出したいけど
They wanted to kick him out, but he didn't want to leave, so went to
そうそう
court.
そうそうそう
And after that, he was allowed.
I don't know 知
They were
らない
allowed. Well, we don't even know the result, but the fact that it went to court is something.
そう
So,
すごくうるさかっただから
but I mean, just because a foreigner is noisy doesn't mean you can kick out all foreigners. I mean, there are a lot of noisy Japanese.
I mean, yeah, if you're noisy, it doesn't really matter where you're from. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of. There was this couple in my building who were always having sex, and they were really noisy. Seriously, seriously, they were really noisy. Like you couldn't believe it. But look, it was like at
Yeah.
noontime when I was having classes, and I opened my school. I was first doing classes from my apartment, and it was embarrassing. Like my old women students would come to class,
oh, yeah,
and there would
that's-
be this couple like having sex in the middle of the afternoon,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
very-
woman would be screaming. Yeah, do a little sex noise.
Really? ああるある私も I have experience
You have experience?
SNS は聞い
No,
た
no,
こと
no.
ね
You've heard
聞い
it.
たことだよ
Oh, okay. Not making the sex noise, hearing the sex noise. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's very comfortable to.
But I mean, you can't kick out. I'm not gonna rent to young single women anymore because they have men over who have crazy sex.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a really good. But there are some. There's established other example of established xenophobia is the fact that the Japanese Supreme Court just recently says it's legal to follow Muslims around Japan and keep your eyes on Muslims, like track them or whatever. So you can track Muslims in Japan. The police can
What?
track them.
Okay.
If you're a Muslim, then they will know where you are and stuff. Now I can't tell you a lot of detail, but I know that the American government is also following Muslims in Japan. And
Yeah, it's
now I
kinda-
know for sure.
That's not good at all.
So the American government does it too. So when people say is Japan xenophobic? Well, yes, I think it is. I think it's one of the most xenophobic, passively xenophobic, advanced countries in the world.
Okay, I think saying the word xenophobic, it's a very general thing. So
Right. Okay.
I think all countries in the world, they obviously have all types of people.
Yes.
But talking about Japan, saying it in a very general way, I think it's less xenophobic than a lot of countries.
I think established xenophobia is stronger here, but it's more. You won't see it on a daily basis. Like we're walking,
yeah.
like no one, and it's not violent. Like no one's gonna kick our ass because we're foreigners.
It's not like Brazil or the States.
Oh yeah, they'll lynch you.
Yeah.
So America's much worse. Violent when it comes to violence and stuff. Other countries are much worse. Of course, and there are links to other countries. So I heard Egypt, India. I think India is really bad from what I hear. But you can't just say. You can't tell people. You don't say Japan is one of the most xenophobic countries in the world. The other problem with this question, this statement, is it's a country that people want to come to,
Yeah.
right? People want to come to Japan, right? Who the fuck wants to move to India or Egypt? I mean, no offense, those are the countries you want to visit. Maybe drop LSD on an island in India or something. Maybe that's what you guys want to do, but no one wants to live there. People want to come to Japan for an extended time. And one of Aoki, what's his name? Yuta Aoki's
Yeah.
complaints was that he was getting emails all the time saying, I want to go to Japan, but I'm afraid of the xenophobia. Well, there's no reason to be afraid of it. I mean, it does happen, it does exist here, but it's mostly, it won't get in your way. It's not
Yeah.
going to be a problem.
I mean, you're afraid you're gonna end up not going anywhere, right?
Yeah, if you're afraid of it, you're going to stay home, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure what you meant by that, but
mean,
you will not encounter xenophobia every day.
Yeah.
And we're walking around and no one's bothering us, no one's like giving us a dirty eye or bothering us in any way, right? Oh,
yeah.
I gotta go to the elastic store. I gotta buy my wife some.
あそっか私地下鉄だか
Okay,
ら
okay. You go this way? Are you going to Yabacho?
じゃあね
Okay.
バイバイ Thank you Lucas
She's leaving us because she hates women.
See you ハッピーは
Hi. So it's
See you
じゃあ
at
ビ
the.
クターも See you
Okay.
ハッピーはあ違うか
I'll see you maybe Saturday.
あそっ
You
か
busy?
パーク
We'll see. We'll figure out something. Okay, bye bye. There's a Lawson's there. Throw the garbage away there. Okay, so by the way, this is a laundry video. I forgot to say that in the beginning of the
Okay.
video. It means it's a long
Is it the
walk and
same
talk.
video as the last one? that we did with the juggling stuff? Or
No, it's
separate
completely
video?
different.
Nice.
This is about xenophobia.
Okay,
so-
I see.
So, though I will admit that Japan is not at all a scary country. That's really the point. Japan is not a scary country.
Yeah.
It's a great country, right? It's a very friendly country. It's very safe.
Yeah.
And if you think about the word, the label xenophobia, I mean, it just means that some people don't like foreigners. But there are a lot of people who hate foreigners in New York City.
Yeah.
And in Florida, and in places I've been, Boston, you know.
It also depends where you're from, right?
What kind of foreigner you are, you mean?
I mean, if you're in Japan and you're Chinese, or if you're in Japan and you're American,
Well, the thing is,
way
if you're
you'll
Chinese,
be received is
the thing
different,
is, if
right?
you're Chinese, they won't even notice.
Oh, I mean, if you talk,
Right.
and then
As soon as
there's
you open
that
your mouth,
accent.
yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, for example, you ride the subway.
Yeah.
Okay, do people sit next to you?
Yeah, of course.
People avoid you sometimes?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I've never had any experience whatsoever.
That's amazing.
Actually, my girlfriend's Japanese, and I met her parents, which is kind of crazy, right? Because I've heard in Japan, usually you meet your girlfriend's parents before you get married or something.
Right.
But still, her parents, they were like willing to meet me, and we went out twice. And her mom actually paid a trip for like the whole family to go to Kofu and eat sakura. So they weren't like racist at all with me. They were really nice to me.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
one of my first girlfriends before I got married, I met her parents as well,
Okay.
and they were really, really nice to me, and they paid for an incredibly expensive sushi dinner where the fish was still alive on the table.
Oh wow.
But they also told her, "You're not marrying him."
Okay. Yeah, maybe they're too nice.
So I mean, they're really nice to you, and that's definitely not bad. I mean, there were things that could happen in other countries, of course. But what I disagree with is the sentence, Japan is not xenophobic. I really think
Okay.
Japan is xenophobic, but I also think it's such a passive or innocuous kind, but prevalent kind, that it should not stop you from coming to Japan, which is really what I guess is the message. You should come to Japan, but you should be aware that there are subtle, insidious, underground streams of xenophobia through this country that you may not encounter at all. Like, he's been here 6 months and he hasn't felt that at all. But I've been here 24 years this year. Next month it'll be 24 years.
Yeah.
And I did not encounter much at all for a long time. In fact, I
that's
didn't
pretty
even
amazing.
believe it. I didn't even believe that people won't sit next to you on the subway across this way. But now I believe it, because I used to ride a motorcycle all the time, right?
Yeah.
After I stopped doing that, I guess when I was younger I didn't really sense it so much.
Yeah, I think it depends
Stop
on your
looking at those
appearance
legs,
as well, man.
Dude, stop looking at those legs.
Yeah, so I think it also it depends on your appearance. I mean, this thing
But
about
even when
the
I
train,
wear a suit, if I wear a suit and tie, they still won't sit next to me sometimes.
Okay.
Maybe I'm scary looking. Am I scary looking?
I don't know.
No? You
You
sure?
look pretty normal.
Right?
But if you have a bunch of tattoos and piercings, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be kind of afraid of you.
The other day I saw a sumo wrestler. He was on the subway because it's Nagoya Basho now.
Yeah?
Do you know that?
No
Oh, you
idea.
should go to the sumo if you have a chance. So this is the week to go.
Oh, I see when.
If you have a day off like this week, you should go.
Okay. I'll
It's every day
check that out.
for 2 weeks. But they sat down to this huge. They're the garbage can, but they're closed. They're not until 3.
It's fine. But
Anyway, the point is they sat down next to the sumo wrestler, but they wouldn't sit down next to me. That was just nice.
maybe they're afraid you're gonna speak English to them.
That's what
Yeah,
my
Japanese people
wife
are
said.
Very
That's true.
afraid of speaking.
But
English.
see, that is a form of xenophobia, because xenophobia is fear, distrust, or hate of foreigners. So
Oh yeah, but for example, I know a guy who's in the circuit today. He's a friend of mine, and he was in Osaka, and I met him there, and we were in a juggling meeting. And Japanese people, most of them don't really speak English, so I was in a juggling meeting, and I was talking to all the Japanese people, but when I looked at him, he was kind of alone, because Japanese people wouldn't talk to him. But that's not because they wanted to talk to him because he's like a famous juggler.
Right.
But at the same time, they don't speak English at all, so they're just afraid of talking to him. There might be, some people might think that's racism. In my opinion, it's not, because I would feel the same. If I'm in Brazil and I don't speak any Japanese and a Japanese person comes to me, I would be like, oh shit, what should I do? And I wouldn't be able to communicate, so I would probably not approach the person because there's no way of communicating. So I think it's really hard to Yeah, in some cases.
Okay, well,
some people are too
I
sensitive.
understand that, but not sitting next to someone because you're afraid they're going to speak English
Yeah,
to you.
that's different. It always depends
That's
on
like-
the situation.
I'm not going to turn to you and start talking to you
Yeah.
simply because I'm a foreigner. So,
Yeah, true.
I mean, I do think that it comes from a place of ignorance and lack of experience, but which is not a bad thing, and I think it's getting better.
Yeah.
It's always getting better, so that's a good thing. So I think in 20 years it'll be a non-issue, and I think in Tokyo it's much better now.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think this even exists in Tokyo, but in Nagoya.
That's close.
But by the way, where do you live?
Okazaki.
Okazaki. So, like I don't think it's a problem in bigger cities like Tokyo, but I think it's a much bigger problem in smaller cities.
Yeah, Okazaki is pretty small, but I still don't see anything there. And it's funny because my community, I mean, not my community, my ethnicity, which is Brazilian, is the most common ethnicity in Okazaki from like
But you're kind
foreigner
of
people.
what do they call white Brazilians? Karakau or something?
Nikkei.
No.
White Brazilians.
Yeah.
There's no word for that.
Yes,
Just-
there is in Brazil.
That's just white. I mean,
No, there's a word in Brazil in Portuguese.
for white Brazilian
Yeah.
people, we don't have it. Sorry, we call it white.
No, there is in the Portuguese language.
Yeah, we really don't.
No, there is. There's a book titled, but it could be a Western idea of what it is.
Okay.
I can't remember. It starts with a C though. I want to say caracol. Or, I can't remember. One of the Fletch. You don't know who Fletch is, do you?
Fletch. Who's that?
Fletch is a fictional detective
Okay.
character. But in one of his novels, title is called the White Brazilian.
Yeah, in Brazil we separate people from like white, black, brown, and Japanese.
So let me ask you: in Brazil, is racism a problem there?
Oh yeah, in Brazil it's a big problem, but it's not about the race. It's about the race, but it's also really
What the money?
yeah, it's a social thing because in Brazil, rich people are pretty much 99.9999% white. So rich people, if they see a black person, they will just assume that the person is poor, and because of that, they might be afraid of the person.
Really?
So it's kind of like a social slash like racial thing. Yeah. For example,
It's racism.
yeah, it is. I've studied.
But
in
if
a-
they know he's rich, they're okay.
yeah, but it's just that segregation
right.
in Brazil is really big.
The what?
Segregation
Okay.
in Brazil is really big, like the racial thing.
You mean stop looking at those legs?
I didn't understand. Yeah.
No.
Like,
What do you
so-
mean, like legal segregation?
No, I mean racial.
Is it legal to segregate people? Can
No,
you ride the same buses and shit?
Maybe I used the
Right.
wrong word, but what I mean is that black and white people are very separated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For example, I
But
studied.
they don't like say, "Hey, you're black, you're white."
No, it's
of
not like
course
that.
I didn't
yeah,
think so.
I guess I used the wrong word. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
But in Brazil, I once studied in a private school
Uh-huh.
that had 500 people and not even one black person.
Wow.
So it is really extreme. This thing, it's like China where you have like a rich person and a rich person, and the rest is poor.
Right. Okay.
But those rich people, they are white. That's
okay,
the thing.
okay.
And because of that racism grows, right? So that's why it's a big thing in Brazil.
Have you ever dated a black girl?
I have. It depends what you
I
call dating.
shouldn't get too personal.
No, it's fine. It depends what you call dating. In Brazil, we have something called ficar, which means you're a boyfriend and girlfriend for one day only.
Oh, really?
That's all I've done. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It just means you're. That's all.
Oh, okay. You hook up, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say about racism and all that and xenophobia is once people realize you're rich,
Yeah.
if people ever realize that, then everything fades away, and you're rich. You know, if someone's rich, then someone's rich,
Yeah.
right? And that's the only color people care about is the color green in the end. So.
Yeah. True.
But so my belief, and of course it's just my opinion, racism and xenophobia does exist here, but it's minor. But it does exist.
Yes.
That's mine. And you
you
may
think-
not experience it at all. Like,
Yeah.
Like you haven't. Lucas hasn't at all. Right?
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened because if it happens once, it could be anywhere. Now, if it happens once a month, I would be surprised
Right.
for sure.
So I experienced it subtly, and if you try to rent an apartment or do certain things, it will become a problem. You'll see it. But otherwise, it's really not that bad. Anyway, this is just kind of a video response, a laundry video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. We're in the store now, so I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah.
But thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you guys
Thanks.
soon. Check out those legs.